first and foremost, the hurricane has been technically downgraded to Category 1 hurricane when it arrives along the coast of New Jersey. But this is just as dangerous for Philadelphia and the Philadelphia region. So notwithstanding the technical downgrade, the actual impact of the hurricane will be the same for Philadelphia and the Philadelphia region. Flooding, wind damage, as well as power outages. The rainfall is still anticipated to be 7 to 9 inches, which would mean that virtually all streams, creeks, and the Schuylkill River, unfortunately, will flood. In fact, areas along the Schuylkill and the Cobbs Creek area have already started to flood as we speak. Flash flooding in streets and low-lying areas is also expected. The forecast crest for the Schuylkill River is now 14.2 feet, which exceeds the level of last October's flooding and would be the city's worst since Hurricane Floyd in 1999. At peak, we anticipate sustained winds of 50 to 55 miles an hour, and it's possible that we will have wind gusts at 65 miles an hour, possibly more. This level of wind could cause many downed trees, sustained power outages, and other infrastructure disruption. The National Weather Service has issued a flood warning for our entire area. Hurricane warnings have been posted for Delaware and Philadelphia counties, as well as all of southern New Jersey. As a result of all the information that I've just given you, at approximately 5:30 this evening, I signed a state of emergency declaration for the city of Philadelphia. This is the first time a state of emergency has been declared in the city since 1986, to give you some sense of the seriousness with which we are anticipating this storm in Philadelphia. Similar declarations have been made in New York City, Washington, D.C., and Baltimore, Maryland. This action was taken in response to the fact that the storm has started to change. It is moving faster than had been originally predicted, and even with our updates from yesterday, the storm is moving faster than we announced yesterday. This declaration enables us to not only maintain safety, but more importantly, save lives. That's why I'm making that declaration this evening. We need everyone to stay informed. If you are not in a low-lying, flood-prone area, please stay home. As we announced yesterday, hopefully Philadelphians who are in those flood-prone areas, those low-lying areas, you know where those areas are, out in Southwest, up in the Northwest section near Main Street and Manioc, as well as up in the Northeast. I am hopeful that you've already taken our advice from yesterday and made your evacuation plans. If you have not, you need to do that right now. This weather event is upon us. And quite frankly, the time is ticking away. You should have already been out. You should be seeing this broadcast in a new location. Please sign up for Ready Notify PA, Philadelphia's emergency text and email messaging alert system at phila.gov/ready. Channel 64 is available for weather updates and other information. The 311 call center has already been open, and they will be open for 24 hours now through Monday. Please only call 911 if you have a serious emergency, a life-threatening emergency. But let me mention right now, if you are still in a flood-prone area or a low-lying area, and if you feel that you are in a life-threatening situation, please call 911, but do that now. Please do not wait until there is significant water in your basement or in your house, or wherever it is that you may be staying. If you are not in a flood-prone area, let me say this one more time. If you are not in a flood-prone area, please stay home. We need you to stay home, stay in your homes, and be safe. The city has opened 3 shelters near the areas where we anticipate traditional historical areas of flooding. At Bartram High School in Southwest, because of the Cobbs Creek area, that shelter is now open. In the Northwest, in the Roxborough section, Manioc, along the Schuylkill River and Main Street area, Roxborough High School is open. And in the Northeast, Lincoln High School is open. Kessing, the Coney, and many other creeks and streams in that neighborhood tend to create flooding. Once again, at 12:30 tonight, approximately at midnight or so, the entire SEPTA system will shut down. buses, trolleys, subway, L, and regional rail lines. Some of the regional rail lines have probably already shut down because the Amtrak system has shut down already, and they power many of the lines for the regional rail system. Unfortunately, because of the wind and the rain and the amount that we will sustain, you can anticipate significant power outages. PECO has deployed thousands of individuals to help us in this situation, but due to the severity of the storm, unfortunately, you may experience power outages for upwards of a week to 10 days to possibly 2 weeks. Let me say that one more time. Because of the severity of this storm, and what we are trying to anticipate, power outages could last for a week to 10 days to 2 weeks. PECO will do everything that they possibly can to get power on as quickly as possible. They have brought in additional personnel from outside of the Philadelphia area and outside of Pennsylvania. We'll have thousands of people ready and available, but we need everyone to be patient. They will get to you as soon as possible, but you need to know what we're facing. As I mentioned already, there is some flooding in some areas. There is more to come, and major flooding will happen later on this evening into the midnight time. Do not travel unless absolutely necessary. And what we mean by that is, unless you are deemed by either a public agency or your particular employer as an essential personnel or as an emergency worker, all other individuals should stay home tonight, overnight, and into the morning, and we'll talk about the morning event in a few minutes. If you see a homeless person or someone sleeping on the streets or in a park or anywhere else, we are presently operating under a code gray. That means that the people cannot engage in those activities. Please call 215-232-1984. Once again, 215-232-1984, and make a report that you've seen a homeless person out on the street. Our Office of Supportive Housing and other services will be ready and available to try to get those individuals into shelter. We do not want people out on the streets tonight into tomorrow morning. It's much too dangerous. It is, in fact, life-threatening. If you want to make donations, please do not just start bringing goods and items to various locations. The best thing to do is to make contributions to the American Red Cross of Southeastern Pennsylvania. I'm sure there is either a phone number, they certainly have a website, and you can make contributions in that way. I know that Philadelphians are generous when we have these kinds of emergencies. Everyone wants to help, everyone wants to do their part. The most direct way, the best way to make that contribution is right to the American Red Cross of Southeastern Pennsylvania, and they will be able to get the items and goods that are needed to those individuals. Lastly, we are all in this together. We need to come together as a city and as a region. Philadelphians, we've been through some tough times. We can do this. There will be some inconvenience. Yes. There may be property damage. Yes. The most important thing here is that we save lives, is that we protect our citizens, that we look out for our seniors, that we look at people who are going to shelters. You can take your pets with you. Do not leave your pets at home. They are allowed in the shelter. We have services and other provisions available, not only for you, but also for your pets. Those who are sick, those who are shut in, vulnerable populations, I'm asking the citizens of this city, please call them. Please knock on their door. Please go to see them. Unfortunately, this may also be a very frightening event for many of our citizens, so please check on our seniors, our vulnerables, those who are shut in or sick. Please look after them. Come together as a city. We are fully prepared. I've been in touch with Governor Corbett. He has made numerous resources available to us and has actually put on standby members of the National Guard, some of whom are with us. They are ready to be deployed as well. President Obama and the federal agencies, I took a tour earlier today with Congressman Fatah of the FEMA operation, which is in Philadelphia. They are fully staffed and ready to go. The region is ready. We have a plan. We need everyone to help do their part. Use good judgment. Stay calm. If you're not in a low-lying or flood-prone area, stay in the house overnight. The worst of this event will take place approximately between 4 a.m. and 8 a.m. 4 a.m. and 8 a.m. are the worst times of this storm. On the one hand, yes, that's at night. Fewer people will be out on the street. On the other hand, bad things will happen during that time. You may wake up and have no power in your house and possibly be in the dark. Again, that's why we've encouraged folks, not only to have your food provisions, but also batteries. You can listen to the radio. You'll have a flashlight. These are the essential items and many others that you need. So the worst of the storm is between 4 a.m. and 8 a.m., but there will still be storm activity through the morning and into the early afternoon. This is one of the worst storm events that has hit Philadelphia in the last 50 years. So we are very, very serious. If you see people out on the street, they should be making their way on home. Emergency workers, make sure that you make it to your post and your duty responsibility. Everyone else, please stay home. Glad to take any questions.
Can you clarify, what does the emergency declaration allow you to do that you couldn't otherwise?
First and foremost, the emergency declaration is important for the city of Philadelphia as it relates to our interaction with the state and federal governments. The state has already issued a state of emergency declaration. It's one more indication that we are doing everything possible here in the city, but it also allows us certain powers and whether it's street closures, having people not on the street in certain places, being able to shut down certain areas of the city, but also it may possibly impact certain businesses, bars, restaurants in certain areas where we know we have challenges, and literally empowers us to be able to tell them that they need to close at a certain time in order to protect, again, the public safety. It's a very serious event. It helps us, certainly if there are funds to be recovered as a result of this particular event, having declared a state of emergency helps us as we try to recover any expenses that come as a result of this event.
Are there greater police powers?
There are, in fact, greater policing powers related to whether people can be on the street, what streets they can be on, closing streets, as well as businesses in certain areas of the city based on the circumstances.
And violators would be arrested or simply...
Obviously, we want to use our best judgment, but there are fines. There is a possibility that you could certainly be arrested if we have people who just, for whatever reason, want to blatantly violate the law. We're trying to save lives, and we don't have any time for any silliness. This is a serious issue. And I know most Philadelphians will just do what needs to be done and will follow a process and procedure. But if we have to help someone better understand what in the world is going on, we will help them in this situation.
You say some places have already started flooding. Can you tell us the extent of it and where those exact locations are at this point?
The locations are generally in the areas of the Schuylkill Expressway is already experiencing some flooding, and between police and state police, we're dealing with those areas. Out in Cobbs Creek and out in Southwest, we're already seeing some flooding in those communities. Part of the problem, as we've talked about the last couple of days, this is the rainiest month in the history of the city of Philadelphia. There's nowhere else for the water to go. The ground table is fully saturated and was already before this event, and we're still going to get 7 to 9 inches of rain overnight. Anything else? Thank you.